Hey everyone, this is Keith from Gaming Trend, and I am here with Ryan from Cryptozoic, and we are here to talk about their most recent game, which has been very popular. It's already sold out. It's called Spyfall.
Yep, Spyfall. So this is what the cards look like. This is a social deduction game for 3 to 8 players. The way this works is that everybody gets a card from the deck. These are all shuffled up, and everyone gets one card. And all the cards are effectively identical for all purposes except for one in each package. So, for example, Keith here might get this card that says he's at the bank, and it has some art, and somewhere in the art there's a little spy creeping in somewhere, right? It's kind of fun. There's a little roll down at the bottom for advanced play that most of the time you'll play without when you start, but you can do some fun, like I said, advanced play with that. The one card that's different is the spy card. So one player in the group is going to get the spy card, whereas everyone else gets a bank card in this case. And when the game starts, we set an 8-minute clock, and on that, or during that time, people are going to take turns asking questions of other players to determine who knows the location and who does not know the location. So if I'm the spy and Keith and the other players have the bank card, I'm going to be, say I ask a question, I'm going to ask Keith something like, how often do you visit this location? And he might say something along the lines of, once a week or a couple weeks or something like that. I then am going to look at the list of all the possible locations, which we have some printouts here. There are 30 in the game, and I'm trying to determine from that information he gave me which location he and the other players are holding in their hand. So if it's every 2 weeks he goes to this location, it might not be the embassy. That might be not really applicable, so I maybe can rule that out, and I'm trying to deduce which one he has. So maybe it's the airplane, maybe he travels regularly, or maybe it's the supermarket and he does his grocery shopping. So there's a lot of possibilities based on what he gave me that it could be, and I haven't narrowed it down yet. So then Keith would take his turn and ask a question of another player, maybe something like, do you bring pets to this place? And the answer is no. Then he knows that player knows they're not, they're not at the zoo, for example, and maybe he thinks, okay, they're not the spy because they know you don't bring pets to the bank, right? So he's trying to get information from the other players, and they're trying to give information without being too obvious. Because if I can identify as the spy what the location is, then I win. If the other players are able to identify me as the spy, then they win. So for example, maybe Keith asks me, what's the dress like? How are people dressed at this location? And as the spy, I don't know how people are dressed, and so I might guess, it's really casual, swim trunks, whatever, and people go, no way, you're the spy because you would never wear swim trunks to the bank. And so they're going to stop the clock, and they're going to vote to see if I am the spy, and if I am, then they win, and so forth. So plays, like I said, on an 8-minute clock, really quick, really fun. Opens up there's a lot of creative space for how you can ask questions and interpret things, since it's very open-ended. So yeah, it's done very well. Like you said, it completely sold out here at Origins very quickly on the first day, way faster than we expected, which is a great problem to have, but it'll be in stores next week. 6/10 is the street date, so you'll be able to find it in your local hobby stores.
Great, and how much is it going to retail for?
$25.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you bet.